So now I would like to develop the process through which you use this framework. It basically comprises 4 steps, and using the framework is actually the last one. There are some preliminary works to be done before analyzing your idea based on this framework. The first step of the process is to try to capture the essence of the core know-how that you're going to be building. It is important because this understanding drives how you're going to spend your resources, which skill profile you need, so it does impact significantly the journey of your venture. Tesla, for example, is an electric car manufacturer. Let's focus on the early days of Tesla. Their first model, historically, was an electric roadster. What is the core know-how that you need to design an electric roadster? Do you need highly trained engineers that you will hire from other players, Porsche or Ferrari? Not so much. And moreover, not at first, because the engineering of an electric car is actually simpler than a traditional car. And the real problem of an electric car is somewhere else. It is in the energy system, because battery technologies are today the main limitation of electric vehicles. This is what Tesla did. They used as much as possible off-the-shelf car components available from other suppliers. The chassis, for example, came from Lotus. And they primarily focus on the energy system because it's a core know-how that it's not available. And building that will provide Tesla with a strong, unique competitive asset. It will also put Tesla in a very good position for later on addressing more mainstream segment, as they did when they launched after the Roadster the Model S, which is a luxury limousine with over 300 kilometers of autonomy. It has a much larger potential customer base. And all this turned out to work very well for Tesla because Mercedes made Tesla its prime subcontractor for developing the energy system of the electric Smart. Second, along with the core know-how, it is important to anticipate on the nature of the competitive battleground you're about to enter. Who will be your main competitors, and can you fight them? In some cases, it can be tricky. For example, if you're Biofuel Box, a startup that has developed a technology that converts domestic waste into bioenergy through a device that you plan to sell to mid-sized communities. Are you in the waste processing business? And from the waste, it turns out you're processing bioenergy? Or are you in the energy production business that happens to be coming out from waste? Depending on the case, on where is the gravity center of your business, your views on the competitive landscape, the sales process, and challenges will be totally different. This is not an easy question, of course, and your understanding may change along the way. But it's crucial to keep it in mind so you can anticipate on who will be your main competitors, their moves against you, as you can predict it today. So once you've set the core know-how and the competitive landscape, the next step is to look for a comparable. A comparable can be the same business operated somewhere else or an analog business in a different industry. As we learned from analyzing the Adamance case, finding a comparable is of tremendous value for you and your idea. And the opposite is also true. An idea where you cannot find any comparable even remotely will be perceived as highly suspicious. Finding one helps a lot, believe me, a lot, to convince external partners, investors about the viability of your idea because someone has already explored, confirmed that there is a market, a value proposition, and has built a business model for operating it. Second, you can learn a lot from this example and use key metrics from that comparable as a reference point for your own business. Adoption, growth rate, how fast the business took off, how big is the potential, who were the first customers, and eventually funding and exit strategies as evidences for convincing investors to support your own business. All this preparation work done, the core know-how, the industry, identify comparables, you can then start building the opportunity analysis framework. As it is the first time, you might feel a little uncomfortable, unsure about how to use this process. Don't be scared. This is part of the learning, making these concepts yours. It happens through pain at first. And remember to use the forum to share your thoughts and your questions.